LVDT used for displacement measurement is a N transducer. A. Passive. B. Active. C. Capacitive. D. None of these. The correct answer is passive. A static fluid cannot have A. Zero shear stress, B. Positive normal stress, C. Non-zero shear stress, D. None of these. The correct answer is non-zero shear stress. In a forced draft cooling tower, water is cooled from 95 to 80 floor by exposure to air with a wet bulb temperature of 70 floor. In this case the A range is 15 F, B approach is 10 F, C both A B, D neither A nor B. The correct answer is both A B. Which of the following is the most elastic material? A. Plastic, B. Glass, C. Steel, D. Rubber. The correct answer is steel. The laughing gas is A. Nitrous oxide, B. Nitric oxide, C. Nitrogen trioxide, D. Nitrogen pentoxide. The correct answer is nitrous oxide. Glass reacts with A. H2SO3, B. HF, C. HNO3, D. K2Cr2O7. The correct answer is HF. The cost of providing service in a crane system decreases with the A. Increased mean time in the queue, B. Increased arrival rate, C. Decreased mean time in the queue, D. Decreased arrival rate. The correct answer is increased mean time in the queue. The activity coefficient of the solute in a dilute solution A. Decreases with the increase of concentration of the solute, B. Increases with the increase of concentration of the solute, C. Remains constant, D. Is unity at infinite dilution. The correct answer is remains constant. Constituents of stellite are A. Zinc copper nickel, B. Cobalt chromium tungsten, C. Zinc aluminium nickel, D. Nickel cobalt vanadium. The correct answer is cobalt chromium tungsten. The kinematic viscosity in stoke and the absolute dynamic viscosity in poise are the same for at room temperature. A. Air, B. Water, C. Mercury, D. Alcohol. The correct answer is water. Multistage compression is necessary for high efficiency. A. If the ratio of the delivery pressure to the intake pressure exceeds 5:1. B. When large amount of gas is to be compressed. C. When the delivered gas is desired at very high velocity. D. None of these. The correct answer is if the ratio of the delivery pressure to the intake pressure exceeds 5:1. Cannot increase the fatigue strength of a material. A. Grain refining, B. Grain coarsening, C. Surface hardening, D. Short peening. The correct answer is grain coarsening. If the head is doubled in centrifugal pump, the power required will increase in the ratio of A. 2:3, B. 2:3:2, C. 2:5:2, D. 2:1:3. The correct answer is 2:3:2. Work hardenable alloy steel used to make the bucket wheel excavators, blades of bulldozers and other earth-moving equipments contain iron, carbon and A. manganese, B. silicon, C. nickel, D. chromium. The correct answer is manganese. Electrometallurgy is not involved in the extraction of from its ore. A. aluminium, B. tin, C. lead, D. both of C. The correct answer is both of C. A freely floating object is stable if its center of buoyancy A. coincides with its center of gravity, B. lies below its center of gravity, C. lies below its metacenter, D. none of these. The correct answer is coincides with its center of gravity. Which of the following materials does not form adherent oxide film on surface? A. Copper. B. Nickel. C. Aluminium. D. Gold silver. The correct answer is gold silver. Cassiterite is an ore of A. Tin. B. Lead. C. Molybdenum. D. Chromium. The correct answer is tin. In sheet metal forming stretcher strains occur in A. Duralumin sheets. B. Low carbon steel sheets. C. Austenitic stainless steel sheets. D. Knee base alloy sheets. The correct answer is duralumin sheets. For grinding of softer materials, the grinding wheel should have grain size A. finer. B. coarser. C. medium. D. any type of. The correct answer is coarser. Nusselt number Biot number varies. A. inversely with thermal conductivity. B. directly with heat transfer coefficient. C. directly with thermal conductivity. D. inversely with the dimension of the solid. The correct answer is inversely with thermal conductivity. Out of the following, maximum temperature drop for a given heat flow for the same thickness will be in the case of A. steel. B. glass wood. C. copper. D. fire clay bricks. The correct answer is glass wood. Parallel straight line pattern of temperature distribution for both hot and cold fluids is observed in case of heat exchanger of the type A. parallel flow with equal heat capacities. B. counter flow with equal heat capacities. C. counter flow with unequal heat capacities. D. parallel flow with unequal heat capacities. The correct answer is counter flow with equal heat capacities. Rockwell number represents the A. hardness of a substance. B. color of a pigment. C. density of a polymer. D. active ingredients in a fertilizer. The correct answer is hardness of a substance. Which of the following fastening devices has its both ends threaded? A. bolt. B. stud. C. set screw. D. split nut. The correct answer is stud. Notched bar test is used for testing D of a material. A. impact strength. B. endurance limit. C. machinability. D. corrosion resistance. The correct answer is impact strength. The most suitable material for die casting is A. iron. B. copper. C. steel. D. nickel. The correct answer is copper. Heating of an ore below its melting point in presence of excess of air is called A. calcination. B. smelting. C. roasting. D. sublimation. The correct answer is roasting. Depreciation of machines fails under the indirect expenses head. As per income tax regulations, it is calculated by the method A. diminishing balance. B. sinking fund. C. multiple straight line. D. sum of the year's digit. The correct answer is diminishing balance. A semi-conductor is damaged behaves like a conductor on passing a strong electric current through it because it heats up the crystals, breaks the covalent bonds resulting in electrons. A. lack of free. B. excess of. C. decrease in. D. none of these. The correct answer is excess of. The bank of tubes located at the back of the domestic refrigerators are the tubes. A. refrigerant cooling. B. evaporator. C. condenser. D. throttling. The correct answer is condenser. Material having negative coefficient of linear expansion is A. copper. B. aluminium. C. rubber. D. nickel. The correct answer is rubber. Specific gravity of hot metal pig iron is times that of the blast furnace slag. A. 2. B. 3. C. 0.8. D 6. The correct answer is 3. Is the hardest material out of the following? A. Boron carbide. B. Tungsten carbide. C. Hardened steel. D. Silicon carbide. The correct answer is boron carbide. The phenomenon of weld decay is found in case of A. gunmetal. B. brass. C. stainless steel. D. cast iron. The correct answer is cast iron. If a solid is compressed adiabatically in its elastic range, it remains constant. A. internal energy. B. enthalpy. C. entropy. D. temperature. The correct answer is entropy. Gasohol, widely used in Brazil as a motor fuel, is a mixture of alcohol and A. petrol. B. LPG. C. light hydrocarbon gases, e.g. butane or propane. D. none of these. The correct answer is petrol. On decreasing the grain size of a polycrystalline material, the property most likely to deteriorate is A. creep. B. toughness. C. tensile strength. D. fatigue. The correct answer is toughness. It is possible to form martensite. A. sometimes by cold working. B. sometimes without nucleation. C. sometimes by gas quenching. D. only in iron-based alloys. The correct answer is only in iron-based alloys. Which of the following material handling equipments is not suitable for moving materials in varying paths? A. hand trolley. B. belt conveyor. C. crane. D. truck. The correct answer is belt conveyor. The effect of friction on the flow of steam through a nozzle is to decrease the of steam. A. wetness. B. mass flow rate. C. both A. B. D. neither A nor B. The correct answer is both A. B. Thermal equivalent of electrical power in practical calculation is kWh. A. 746. B. 3000. C. 1000. D. 550. The correct answer is 3000. Gross net calorific values will be the same for A. methane. B. propane. C. carbon monoxide. D. hydrogen. The correct answer is carbon monoxide. As per the Indian boiler regulation IBR, the type of joint preferred for the circumferential joint is the joint A. butt. B. lap. C. welded. D. none of these. The correct answer is lap. Presence of small quantity of sulfur in low carbon steel improves its A. formability. B. machinability. C. weldability. D. hardenability. The correct answer is machinability. Duralumin is an alloy of aluminium and copper. Percentage of copper in duralumin is A. 38. B. 26. C. 16. D. 4. The correct answer is 4. Copper is not present as an alloying constituent in A. silicon bronze. B. constituent. C. nichrome. D. delta metal. The correct answer is nichrome. Lead is added to 60-40 brass primarily to improve A. machinability. B. corrosion resistance. C. fluidity. D. strength. The correct answer is machinability. Air intake for an air compressor should be preferably taken from A. site where cooling towers are located nearby. B. a site where open coal yard is located nearby. C. an air-conditioned room maintained at a temperature of 18 C. D. an outside atmosphere at 10 C. The correct answer is an outside atmosphere at 10 C. Current asset of a factory includes the A. goodwill of the company. B. common stocks held by the company. C. Manufacturing plant equipment. D. Inventory. The correct answer is manufacturing plant equipment.